Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Osama Shah, the Congress MP and the former Punjab Chief Minister, Charanjit Singh Channi. He made statements questioning the 2019 Balakot surgical strike, which India conducted in response to the Pulwama terror attack that killed 40 CRPF personnel. Channi reportedly said, and I quote, the government said we did a surgical strike on Pakistan, but nobody saw it. Nothing happened, no surgical strike was visible, nobody knew about it, unquote, implying a lack of tangible evidence for the operations. These remarks were made in the context of ongoing debates about recent terror attacks, including the Pahalgam attack, which killed 26 people.
हमारे देश में आकर कोई बम गिरे पता नहीं चलेगा। कहते जी पाकिस्तान में हमने सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक किए थे, कोई कुछ नहीं हुआ, कहीं नहीं दिखे सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक, किसी को नहीं पता चला। मांगते हैं क्या आप? अरे मैं तो हमेशा मांगता रहा हूं भैया, लेकिन आज देश के लोगों के जरूरत है उनके जख्मों पे मल्लम लगाने की। हम डिमांड करते हैं कि भैया कुछ करो, बताओ देश को कौन है आदमी और उनको सजा दो।
कांग्रेस के चरणजीत सिंह चन्नी फॉर्मर चीफ मिनिस्टर जो हैं, उन्होंने आज फिर से कहा कि उनको सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक पे विश्वास नहीं है और सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक के सबूत चाहते हैं। कांग्रेस की कैसी मानसिकता है गांधी परिवार के और राहुल गांधी जी की कि बार बार हमारी सेना पे, हमारी वायुसेना पे उनके ऊपर सवाल उठाते हैं, उनको कहते हैं कि नहीं तुम झूठ बोल रहे हो, तुमने सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक नहीं की, पाकिस्तान सच बोल रहा है, जबकि पाकिस्तान खुद दुहाई दे के बोल रहा है कि सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक करके हमारा नुकसान करने का भारत ने काम किया।
And my colleague Sunil Prabhu joins us on the phone line to get us more on this. Sunil, the former Punjab Chief Minister, he seems to have landed himself in a soup. This is something that will give the government the impetus to target the opposition now.
Absolutely. I think the first part of his point that he was trying to do, there was no need to refer to the surgical strikes, and this is unnecessarily created because I think what the Congress Working Committee's resolution was very clear, that they wanted the government to act and act fast to ensure that there is full justice not only to those who have been killed by the terrorists, but their families, and to see that one way or the other, India does not, deter under international pressure against acting against Pakistan. So it's in that backdrop that the Congress Working Committee's resolution was there. I think the former Punjab Chief Minister, by talking about surgical strikes and saying that we have not seen any evidence in that regard, and all those other comments have needlessly given rise to the BJP raising questions about the Congress's intentions and questioning the entire surgical strikes which the armed forces have conducted.
Right, Sunil Prabhu there. Thank you very much for getting us all the latest. India has taken a giant leap forward with the Vinium Port, which is being touted as the gateway to global trade. Prime Minister Modi, he has commissioned the Vinium Seaport, a significant step in boosting the country's global sea trade. Developed and operated by the Adani Group, this container transshipment port, it marks a new era in India's maritime development. The chairman of the Adani Group, Mr. Gautam Adani, he says that this is a triumph of vision and resilience.
Vinium International Seaport in Kerala being formally dedicated to the nation by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who said India's first mega transshipment container terminal would propel India into the big league in global maritime trade, enhance logistics efficiency, and reduce reliance on foreign ports.
अभी तक भारत का 75% ट्रांसशिपमेंट भारत के बाहर के पोर्ट पर होता था। इससे देश को बहुत बड़ा रेवेन्यू लॉस होता आया है। ये परिस्थिति अब बदलने जा रही है। अब देश का पैसा देश के काम आएगा।
Replacing foreign ports like Singapore, Colombo, and Dubai can save the country up to $220 million in revenue every year, besides eliminating risks to increased costs, logistical inefficiencies, and congestion issues. Also, long-term risks to the country's trade competitiveness. Vinium multi-purpose deep-water port built at a cost of Rs 8,900 crore was a public-private partnership between the Kerala government, Adani Ports and SEZ.
जब हमारे पोर्ट मिनिस्टर अपना भाषण दे रहे थे तो उन्होंने कहा, अदानी का उल्लेख करते हुए उन्होंने कहा कि हमारी सरकार के पार्टनर एक कम्युनिस्ट गवर्नमेंट का मंत्री बोल रहा है प्राइवेट सेक्टर के लिए कि हमारी सरकार का पार्टनर, ये बदलता हुआ भारत है। प्राइवेट सेक्टर की भागीदारी से इनोवेशन और एफिशिएंसी दोनों को बढ़ावा मिला है।
The Adani Group has announced that they will invest up to 20,000 crores to complete remaining phases of Vinium Port before time by 2028. Adani Port's managing director also referred to the increased significance of the new port in the era of tariff fears.
So today what happens is most of our cargo which the Indian importers or exporters are moving, it gets transshipped into other places like Colombo, Singapore and Jebel Ali, and because of that we are not able to reduce our cost as well as reduce our transit time. The idea of Vinium Port as well as connecting with our 16 ports is the idea is that we are able to give one-stop solution. We are able to focus on efficiency, improve the productivity and reduce the turnaround time drastically for our importers and exporters. And end of the day, if we are able to demonstrate that, the shipping lines will benefit and they will pass on that benefit to the end consumers.
The strategic advantages of Vinium stem from its proximity to the busiest international shipping route that is 10 nautical miles away, makes it cost and time efficient. Waters of the port, up to a kilometer away, are between 18 and 20 meters deep, making it perfectly suited to allow very large tankers or mother vessels to approach and dock. Just last month, one of the world's largest container ship, MSC Turkey, docked at Vinium Port.
Commissioning of this port marks the dawn of a modern era. The Honorable Prime Minister's presence makes this occasion even more special and brings great joy to all of us. It also makes us optimistic about the bright future of this seaport.
The Prime Minister spoke about this as a multimodal logistic hub into which it is being built, because you have connectivity with road, the NH66, you have rail connectivity just about 12 kilometers away linking to the national rail network, and you have the airport, of course, Trivandrum Airport is very close by.
For NDTV, Uma Sudhir.
Meanwhile, at the inauguration ceremony of the Vinium Port, the Prime Minister, he took a jibe at the opposition, referring to Mr. Shashi Tharoor, who was sharing a stage with him during that event. Prime Minister Modi, poking fun at the opposition, said, and I quote, "Shashi Tharoor is sitting here. Today's program will disturb the sleep of some people. The message has gone wherever it had to go." Meanwhile, the KC Venugopal, a senior Congress leader, he made a strong statement asserting that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will face sleepless nights and not the India bloc.
हमारे मुख्यमंत्री जी से भी मैं कहना चाहूंगा, आप तो इंडिया अलायंस के बहुत बड़े मजबूत पिलर है, यहां शशि थरूर भी बैठे हैं, और आज का ये इवेंट कई लोगों की नींद हराम कर देगा। वेल, मैसेज चला गया जहां जा रहा था।
I don't know on what ground Prime Minister is saying like this, but really now what is going to happen in this country? The Prime Minister will have a sleepless nights. Not the India Alliance parties, not Rahul Gandhi, not the Congress party, because we are going to put maximum pressure on him on this issue of caste census.
And after a 6-year break, Amaravati is set for a major revamp as the Prime Minister relaunches the development work on the 58,000 crore rupees project. This initiative, it marks a significant milestone in the decade-long dream of Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu in order to establish Amaravati as a thriving capital city. Here's a report.
On the banks of the river Krishna, nestled between the towns of Vijayawada and Guntur, lies what is envisioned to be the economic hub of Andhra Pradesh, the capital city of Amaravati. Expansing over 34,000 acres of green area and a 65,000 crore rupees budget, Amaravati, which was earlier a ghost town, is now being built as a smart city from scratch. Amaravati is set to rise again. After years of uncertainty, development of Andhra Pradesh's capital Amaravati is back on track. Revived by Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu's 2024 return to power and fresh funding, Amaravati will consist of 19 sub-cities for healthcare, education, sports, airport, governance, justice and so on.
ఏదైతే అమరావతి రాజధాని పనులు నిలిచిపోయినాయి ఆ రోజు మన ప్రధానమంత్రి గారే ఫౌండేషన్ వేశారు 5 సంవత్సరాలు విధ్వంసం జరిగింది మళ్ళీ ప్రధానమంత్రి గారు నేరుగా వచ్చి ఈ రోజు పునఃప్రారంభం చేస్తున్నారంటే దీనికంటే మంచి రోజు చరిత్రలో మనకి ఏ రోజు లేదని మరొకసారి మీ అందరికీ విజ్ఞప్తి చేస్తున్నాను.
Being built on over 217 square kilometers of land, Amaravati draws inspiration from Amsterdam, Singapore and Tokyo. Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone for 74 key projects in the upcoming city. A new secretariat, Andhra Assembly, the High Court and other important buildings among them. This farmland was acquired from the farmers by a land pooling scheme in 2015. Wet agricultural landowners got 1,000 square yard residential plot and 450 square yards of commercial plots per acre. Annual compensation of Rs 50,000 per acre with a 10% annual increase for 10 years. Dry agricultural landowners got 250 square yards of commercial plots per acre, an annual compensation of Rs 30,000 per acre with a 10% annual increase for 10 years. Landless farmers got Rs 2,500 per month as pension for 10 years.
अमरावती एक ऐसा शहर होगा जहां आंध्र प्रदेश के हर नौजवान के सपने साकार होंगे. इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, ग्रीन एनर्जी, क्लीन इंडस्ट्री, शिक्षा और स्वास्थ्य आने वाले कुछ सालों में इन सारे सेक्टर में अमरावती एक लीडिंग सिटी बनकर खड़ा होगा.
From 2019 to 2024, due to the political regime change, the development work in Amaravati came to a halt. But with the TDP back in power, the project was revived. So this green field, vast majority of land, how do you plan on keeping the greenery intact while you're developing it as a mega city as you speak?
Actually, with that intention, generally the national standard in urban authority for green and blue, it should be 10%. It is only 10%. Whereas in Amaravati, we kept 30% of the land.
The Government of India has committed Rs 15,000 crores to the capital project, while the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank have extended support of $800 million each. The fate of this farmland to become a livable city is a matter of 3 more years of work as per the government targets. With industrialization, the concerns are also that of the natural beauty of this area being hampered, be it the river or the forests. How will the city ensure to sustain, to maintain this balance? With camera person Pooja Arya, this is Tanushka Datta in Amaravati for NDTV.
The Delhi High Court has ordered the CBI to conduct a preliminary inquiry into allegations of an extortion racket involving Tihar jail officials. The court also directed the Principal Secretary, Home Department, to conduct a fact-finding inquiry to identify officials responsible for administrative and supervisory lapses. My colleague Nupur Dogra joins us on the phone line to get us more on this. Nupur, what specific allegations have been made regarding this extortion racket in Tihar jail?
When this came up today in the Delhi High Court after an investigating judge of Tihar jail filed a report in the High Court, it was told to the High Court there are some issues regarding some illegalities, malpractices and misconduct, not only on the part of jail authorities but also the jail inmates. So this racket seems to be involving both the jail authorities and inmates, as prima facie being suggested in front of the Delhi High Court bench by this report submitted by the Tihar jail judge. So now the Delhi High Court, taking into note these all these information that have been in fact brought into their notice, has in fact ordered a further inquiry into the matter. And there are certain allegations of criminal activities, the court noted, and accordingly has asked the CBI to conduct first a preliminary inquiry and submit the same report to the court. The next hearing in this case will in fact be heard on August 11th.
Nupur, what are the potential consequences for these jail officials who are found responsible for administrative and supervisory lapses now?
Well, first of all, for now, it is a very, one cannot say it because there are several questions that will be raised since it is just at the preliminary inquiry stage. If at all they are proven to be seen that they have been involved in such activities, then of course the disciplinary action can be taken in accordance with the existing rules. Whatever the Delhi High Court decides to do, disciplinary actions includes vast range of options, from suspending, from we all know about that, from dismissing, or depending on the gravity of the offence. So first of all, the CBI will conduct the preliminary inquiry, and then the High Court will decide forward that what needs to be done.
Right, Nupur Dogra, thank you very much for getting us all the details of this story. The Indian government has blocked the Instagram accounts of several Pakistani celebrities, including that of singer Atif Aslam and cricketers Shahid Afridi and Babar Azam, as well as actor Fawad Khan. This in fact comes a day after Hania Amir and Mahira Khan, their Instagram accounts were blocked. Other Pakistani celebrities whose Instagram accounts have been blocked in India are Ali Zafar, Sanam Saeed, Bilal Abbas, Momina Mustasham, Iqra Aziz, Imran Abbas and Sajal Ali. Meanwhile, singer Sonu Nigam, he's facing backlash after a viral video showed him making controversial comments about Kannada and linking it to the Pahalgam attack. A complaint has been filed against him, sparking a row over his remarks. And my colleague Deepak Bopanna joins us to get us more on this. Deepak, can you provide more context about this particular incident?
Well, it seems like there were a couple of individuals who here ruffled up, the entire issue. But as far as Sonu Nigam is concerned, he did maintain composure throughout. Did speak to these people who were asking for a song to be sung in Kannada. And more often than not, Sonu Nigam is a person, of course, who's sung multiple songs in Kannada. In fact, one of the bigger hits in the Sandalwood industry, movies like Mungaru Male, some of the iconic songs have been sung by Sonu Nigam, and he makes it a point whenever he comes to Karnataka to sing some of these songs. Now, here there was an individual who kept screaming in the middle of the concert, asking Sonu Nigam to sing in Kannada, and that's when he pointed out that, well, he has a set that has been planned for the city, and this will include songs in Kannada as well, but it is not going to be based on how they make their demands. It is going to be based on how he plans the concert. This is what he was trying to, in fact, imply. At a certain point, he draws a parallel to Pahalgam. That is where the controversy has erupted, where the pro-Kannada activists have said that, he's drawn a parallel to a terrorist attack and now gone ahead and filed a complaint. Whether the police will really look at it in a way where they feel there is a need to really initiate any sort of action, that is something that remains to be seen.
Deepak Bopanna, thank you very much for getting us all the latest. An FIR has been filed against actor Ajaz Khan and others over the controversy surrounding the web series House Arrest on an application called Ullu app. The complaint lodged by Bajrang Dal activists alleges obscene language and offensive portrayal of women in this show. Nirmal Kapoor, the mother of actors Anil Kapoor, Boni Kapoor and Sanjay Kapoor, she passed away on Friday night at the age of 90 due to age-related issues. She breathed her last at 5:45 p.m. at Kokilaben Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital in Mumbai. Dr. Santosh Shetty, the CEO and Executive Director of the Kokilaben Ambani Hospital, he in fact confirmed, saying that Nirmal Kapoor passed away peacefully at the hospital around 5:25 p.m. today. The Australian federal election is scheduled for Saturday to elect the 48th Parliament with 150 seats in the House of Representatives and 40 of 76 Senate seats contested. Polls will open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. local time across various time zones with over 7,000 polling stations nationwide. The incumbent Labour Party, led by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, he is seeking a second term, holding 78 seats in the outgoing House. They face the Liberal National Coalition led by Peter Dutton with 54 seats alongside minor parties like the Greens and Independents. Polls suggest a very tight race with Labour slightly ahead in two-party preferred votes, but a hung parliament is also the most likely outcome here, potentially requiring negotiations with crossbenchers for a minority government. And my colleague Disha Bakshi joins us to get us more on this. Disha, what are the key issues dominating this campaign?
Right, so some of the key issues really dominating this campaign, to start with some of the domestic issues, which is of course inflation, the cost of living crisis, a housing crisis that is facing the Australian people. So this is one of the very key issues when it comes to the economy, really. But apart from that, another key issue is really nuclear power. Now, nuclear power, nuclear energy has been banned in Australia for years on end, and now the Liberal coalition chief, Peter Dutton, who is also the opposition leader right now, is hoping to reverse this ban. So this is going to be a crucial election issue. Now, another crucial issue which has been a key election issue across elections. We saw this as a key issue in the Canadian elections that took place earlier this week, which is US President Donald Trump. Now, usually foreign policy is not really a key election issue in Australia, but in this particular election, US President Donald Trump's shadow is really looming over these elections, given the kind of uncertainty around his, not just his trade policy, but also his foreign policy. And to remind our viewers, Australia is currently facing 10% reciprocal tariffs from the US, but apart from that, also 25% tariffs on US and steel imports, making Donald Trump's and America's trade war a crucial issue in this election. But just to give a brief overview as to who both these, the top contenders of this election are, which is firstly incumbent Prime Minister and the Labour Party chief, Anthony Albanese, who is likely to face a tough competition from his from the staunchly conservative rival Pete Dutton. So this competition is extremely close, but many are even suggesting that it's possible that a hung parliament could be the result of this election. But since the US President Donald Trump's threats again, tariff threats have come in, it is seen that Labour is now leading by a very small margin in the polls, again signaling that a similar sort of result when it comes to the previously held Canadian elections, where many said that US President Donald Trump and his threats in fact really pushed Mark Carney and the Liberal Party to victory. So a similar result is indicated and is signaled here. But apart from that, an interesting note about the Australian elections really is the fact that voting is actually compulsory in Australia. When various countries barely get 60% voter turnout, in fact in India and UK we saw 60 to 65% voter turnout. In Australia the voter turnout is in fact 90%, and in fact there's a fine for if any eligible voter in fact doesn't end up going to the ballots. It's about 10 euros or 20 Australian dollars. So not a very significant fine, but quite a crucial fine. So interesting updates awaited from the Australian elections, which will take place tomorrow, and NDTV World will bring you all the latest updates when it comes to the Australian elections. Back to you.
All right, Disha Bakshi, thank you very much for getting us the latest. Time now for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side.